All right, guys, this is Monday of week 3 of week 12. So, this is the same old back and chest routine that we do every Monday. So, if you guys want to know what the routine is, you can go ahead and go back to some of the previous videos. We're going to talk about some of it as we go through this, but for the most part, it's just going to be some banter for those of you who care to listen. So, bent over barbell rows, I actually like these a lot. It's a love-hate thing for me. I did them a lot whenever I was powerlifting. So it's just kind of one of those staples in my program that I always do no matter what. But at the same time, I hate it because they're just so freaking hard. But there's so much to benefit from doing them.
Yeah, I like doing bent over barbell rows. It just I feel like it targets the area that I'm wanting to hit really well, and it's not overly taxing. Like, I enjoy doing them.
Yeah, I got you. So this right here, T-bar rows, I love doing these. I've always loved T-bar rows. I feel it no matter what. Like, I love doing these. Now, here's the thing about what I'm doing different here is normally I just do these all the way through fluid without pausing, but I decided to reduce the weight and get a hard squeeze at the top and a contraction. And these just wrecked my back, but in a great way, man. I had such a good pump after this.
Yeah, T-bar rows for me, like, they've always been more of a, like I said on a previous video, like, it was more of a strain than a feel because adding the weight. So like reducing the weight down and being able to contract and hold a little bit more, it feels better for me in general.
Yeah, so there's two type of people in this world. There's the people that load the plates like I do, and the people that load the plates like you. There's two different kinds of people in this world, those who put the plates inwards and those who put the plates outwards. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying the plates are beveled and they are designed to be angled a certain way. But, that's what
I put them that way because actually when doing those, it's easier for me to take the plate off when it's like that. When you put it the other way, they go together and then you have nowhere to grip. You have to separate them first and then you can pull it off.
All right. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
We'll agree that I'm right and we'll move forward.
Hey, speaking of agree, not even actually, this has nothing to do with that. So, you know how I was doing 2 heaping scoops of protein and I wasn't weighing it out. I was just doing heaping scoops. Well, I actually weighed it out. So the serving size for a protein scoop is 30 grams and a heaping scoop came out to 45 grams. So doing 2 heaping scoops was actually 3 servings. So me doing 3 even servings was pretty much correct. So this whole time I've been like, oh, I do 2 scoops of protein per thing of yogurt, but I'm actually doing 3 scoops. So I'm getting more protein than what I actually thought, which is good because it gives me more calories to play with whenever I do decide to start reducing my calories and stuff like that. So real quick on the previous workout, the reverse grip bent over rows, man, I like those a lot, man. I just feel a hard pinch between my shoulders and I feel my lower lats really engaging when I do those.
Yeah, I've been working on my wrist mobility a bit more, like trying to get the flexibility in that a bit more. So being able to do the underhand grip on those was not as bad as last week. Last week it bothered me a whole lot, which is why my grip was a lot wider. This week I went a lot more narrow because I was able to kind of maintain my wrist in that position at a closer, grip.
Yeah, and these machine rows, I know it's passing now, but those machine rows, man, they feel just like dumbbell rows. If you pull your elbow in tight and keep it low, it feels just like a dumbbell row. I love doing those. So onto our chest after we get done with those. So right here, I actually moved up to the 60 pounds tonight because I was feeling good. And I actually did these for 10 reps. And the thing is, with the way that my surgery was with my pec, the way that it feels is like I feel nothing. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like a burning sensation, but it's not like a muscle pump and then a fatigue. It's like I just feel strain, and then it just feels like it's about to cramp. So I was actually able to get 10 reps on the 60s tonight with a pause on every rep. So I actually felt really good about my chest workout tonight with these dumbbells and stuff like that because it's been a while since I actually done 60s, and especially this controlled and this deep with a pause at the bottom. I know I'm not getting a huge stretch because I'm keeping them close to my body, but it's still a huge improvement for my pec for after having surgery on it,
Yeah. I went up to the 50s this week. The double press is nice. Like, not doing an actual bench press is a bit different. Like, we did the actual bench press for so long, but with your injury and everything, swapped to doing these, which is fine. I feel like dumbbell press, like flat, I feel like I handle fairly decent. It's the flies that I feel like I don't know if I do them as correctly as I could.
Real quick, what I like about what you did right there was you couldn't get full extension leads anymore, so you did a bunch of partials at the end there, just really frying the chest, man. See, I can't do stuff like that on my chest anymore. I could do it on other body parts, but on my chest, I can't really push past that point. Once it feels like it's about to cramp, like that's it, like it's over, like I can't go any further than that. I can't do partials at the top, at the bottom. So seeing you do those partials at the bottom, man, it kind of really makes me a little jealous because I love doing partials, especially at the end of a set and getting a good stretch like that. So it's just like nostalgia for me getting to watch someone else do those partials at that low range of motion. And I always like taking the muscle beyond failure. And like I said, a lot of people don't think partials get much out of them. But if your chest is already fried and fatigued and you could get a couple little extra reps at the bottom, little quarter reps, 4 of those equals 1 extra rep. So if you do 4 quarter reps, it's like pushing out a whole nother extra rep, you know?
Yeah, keep at it, whatever. You have a chest like mine.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, as long as it rebuilds and fills in that gap where that freaking giant dip's at, sure, maybe one day. Maybe I get plastic surgery and put an implant in or something.
Yeah, I got plenty of extra meat to spare.
Yeah. Yeah, so these right here, I like doing these, even especially with my torn, with the post-surgery, because even though I don't really feel like I'm getting like a hard contraction out of them, I get a really good stretch under load on that tendon. And it actually feels like it gets me more mobile. It actually feels like it actually increases my range of motion with less tightness and pain. So like next week, it's going to feel even better than it did this week. Like I don't know what it is about doing these, but it makes my chest feel so much better whenever I add these into my program. And I did them whenever I was younger and I used to bodybuild, but I stopped for years when I was powerlifting. But now that it's just about rehab, prehab, and then trying to build what's left of my chest, man, these are like a staple. Even though I don't go heavy on them, man, they just feel amazing on my chest.
Yeah. Like I said, with the dumbbell flies itself, I don't know, I struggle with trying to, like, I never feel like I'm doing them properly, like exactly right. I always feel like I'm doing them a little bit wrong.
Well, it's either you could try to go heavier, and honestly, if you go heavier, it might feel better to you, because when I was younger, I used to do them like the 50s and 60s. Some movements just feel better when you go heavier on them, and like you could feel like you're actually loading the muscle, but with the way my chest is, I can't load it like I used to. But for you, if you went up to like the 30s or 35s, see these little partials, I love these right here, man. I love that. But like I said, like even still, like if you went a little heavier, you might feel it a little bit more. But the way that you're doing it with your form, and it's just basically about getting a deep stretch in the pec and just really over exaggerating that stretch and then getting a hard contraction at the top. It was never really a movement to be powerful in. It's just something to stretch, elongate the muscle under load, because you have your pressing movements and then you have your fly movements with the chest, and one is more of a contracting movement, one's a stretching movement. This is just more of a stretching. I'm not going to say there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, but there's definitely a way to do it that won't hurt you and a way that will hurt you. And how you know the difference is if you do it one way and it hurts, you're doing it wrong. Change your shoulder position, basically, you know?
Yeah. Like I ran into that sort of with the incline dumbbell flies. I had to adjust slightly. I don't know if it was on the last set or maybe the set before, but I started to feel like a little bit of a pinch in my left shoulder. So I just had to bring my arms a little bit further back. I kind of let them drift too far forward when doing them.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's one of those movements, man. And again, I think this is a love-hate movement. I think a lot of people hate them and a lot of people love them. I just think it depends on where at in the spectrum you are for them. So I enjoy doing them again since I'm back to bodybuilding. And, you know, I'm not in a rush to get hurt. I'm not in a rush to lift heavy weights anymore. And right now at this point in the stage of my training, I'm not trying to get bigger. I'm trying to prevent muscle loss. So I'm trying to lean out and I'm trying to get my abs, and I'm trying to get lean enough to be able to have visible abs, because the leaner I am, the more of my weak areas will be exposed, so I can work on becoming more symmetrical and bringing it up on my weak areas. But the biggest key for me is not losing muscle mass. So I'm using heavier loads, and I'm making air quotes here, heavier loads for being on a cut versus what I would normally do, because I'm trying to preserve the muscle, but I don't want to go so heavy that I hurt myself, because I made mistakes in the past where I went too light, did too many reps, burnt my muscle up. I just cardioed it away, and then I try to stay too heavy and I try to do too much, and I end up getting hurt. So this time I'm just like right in the middle. Like I want to be heavy enough. So like I'm not tracking my progress. I'm not like writing down every set and every rep and every pound I do, because I'm going off a feel. So if the weight feels a little heavy, I'm going to go down. If the weight's feeling light, I'm going to go up. Because right now in my training, like I said, it's not about building size. It's about preventing muscle loss while losing body fat. So everything I'm doing right now is just basically geared towards do enough to stay stimulated without doing too much to lose your muscle mass, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
But some people, I guess they they would say that I'm doing too much, as general as it is, working out 6 days a week, doing 32 sets per body part. But I mean, honestly, how I feel about it is if you recover from it, you're all right. You know, if you're not sore for days afterwards and you're eating enough food, I really don't think that there's a such thing as overtraining. I really don't believe it. I mean, back in the day, guys used to do, like back in the 60s and 70s, guys would do 3-day splits. They'd work out every body part 3 times a week, and you know, they didn't have the stuff that they have today, supplements or anything, and their bodies were like, you know, top notch, and everyone looks back to those bodies like, oh my god, those bodies were phenomenal, you know. And they did a lot of volume back then.
Yeah, but like there's never going to be like a one exercise or one way of doing it fits everybody perfectly kind of thing. Like some people will react differently to different stimulus, like always. So like some people are going to do a few reps and get a lot out of it. Some people need a whole lot of reps to get something out of it. So it like to say it's overtraining or something like that, it's all based on the person, I would think.
Yeah, I agree with that. It just depends. Like I said, it all depends on your recovery, man. Like it all depends on your recovery. Like some people need 3 days between body parts. Some people need 6 days between body parts. Some people can work out every other day, and other people need to train 3 days, take a day, 3 days, take a day, you know, or train every other day. And I've done a lot of different programs, and depending on what I'm going for, whether it's strength or body size, like bodybuilding, it just depends on what program I'm doing. Because like I said, you just got to find what works for you. And if it's working, I mean, it's not wrong. And it doesn't matter what the science says or who says what and who says this or what the biggest hype or trend or craze is. It's the end of the day, if what you're doing is getting you results, whether it's getting bigger, getting leaner, or getting stronger, then it's working. It doesn't matter what the science says. It's working. Stick with it till it stops working. And when it stops working, then change it up, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I think that's going to be it for this video. I think that pretty much wraps it up, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. You have any comments or questions, or just want to, you know, talk a little bit of smack, by all means, leave a comment in the comment section. Like reading what you guys have to say. But thanks for watching.
Yep.